First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. I recently had an opportunity to ride the KTM 390 Adventure R. This is a bike that I had pre ordered, that I was very excited about. But by the time the bike came in, when I got to look at the bike, I just wasn't feeling it. For various reasons, I just didn't feel like spending nearly $9,500 to have a bike that I didn't feel I was going to 100% exploit and that I wouldn't take anywhere that I can't take my 2020 390 Adventure. But here's the look of the footage. And after that, I'm going to give you my feedback of traveling about 325 miles across the South Dakota plains with my buddy John, him riding his 390 Adventure R.
Well, this is different. I just got here to the campground, and my buddy John asked me if I just wanted to pot around here on his brand new 390 Adventure R with 45 miles on it. This is kind of neat. This is my first opportunity to actually ride one, as when I went and took a look at the one I had reserved, I just didn't want to buy it. Changed my mind once I got a chance to see it. And I will say that I regret that sometimes. No, I didn't want the bike, and I had my 790 to ride, so I certainly didn't need a second 390, but yeah, I would say that this is a very nice bike. Now, I just rode for a little over an hour to get here on a Bonneville. So right now it feels like I'm like in the middle of the sky. I'm just so high compared to that Bonneville. It's crazy. But if I had to say what this reminds me of, it would be my 790. I am up with a clear view. I've got a really good feeling of the angle my arms are at. We don't want to rev this too high. Again, John has 45 miles on it, so we're gonna just baby it around here. It's now standing up. It's good. Actually feels a cross between the 790 and my 390 for standing up. I do feel that I would absolutely positively need bar risers, as I've got way too much of a lean over here. I couldn't do this for long. But the grip on the bike, really good grip on the bike, and definitely once you put bar risers on this, it would be great. Now this has fat bars. That's awesome after the 5 years of shipping a 390 with those skinny little bars from India. These look like full fat bars. This is the hardest, most uncomfortable plastic for a grip I've ever seen. I'm not sure what's up with that. Here's our campsite. Now, I don't actually know which one of these cabins I'm in because I haven't checked in yet, but hopefully it's one near the bike. Here we have the Bonneville I rode here. That Bonneville rides like a dream, absolutely nice, zero complaints, other than the fact that I don't know how short your legs need to be comfortable on it, because I absolutely positively felt crunched. But hey, let's think about the Bonneville while we're on the Bonneville. Yeah, this is, as a person who's coming from a 390 Adventure that's heavily modified and a 790 Adventure, this bike feels like it's quite the little compromise between the two. I've said it before, and I definitely think the 390 Adventure R, while not exactly what I wanted, I do think it is what most people wanted. I think this bike is the more off-road focused 390 that people have been complaining for since the first one was announced. Now, whether or not that is going to serve everybody's purposes, I don't know. But I guess you do have the X. You could go with the slightly less off-road version, but I'm glad this bike exists for sure. I am nearly positive that at some point I will pick up a used one. Right now on Marketplace, there are no less than 3 of these for sale in upstate New York and western Massachusetts. So I imagine at some point I'm going to pick up somebody's lightly used, possibly well-farkled version of this bike. Things I would have to change, of course, would be these terribly hard grips. But other than that, I mean, I'm not sure what you would need to do. Add some farkles for protection. In true KTM style, it has a skid plate that won't stop the rocks I'm on. I mean, this is just lightest of gravel, but I'll be surprised if I don't return it to John with a rock stuck in it. But I do think that for $7,000, if you're buying a new bike, John just pointed out that this thing is only $500 more than a Honda 300 Rally, and you get a lot more bike for it. I agree with John. If you're buying it, this is the one to buy. Pretty cool. Well, John, if you watched the video, I really appreciate you letting me ride it. It is tippy toes on each side. Whoa! Which is a little bit taller than my 390 Adventure, and I'd say that it is matching my 790 Adventure for height. So, as I've said before, this is a tall bike. I don't really think this one would be a beginner bike, but for everyone who is looking for awesome ground clearance on a dirt-capable adventure bike, Bajaj KTM keeps on delivering. Not bad at all.
Now, I did enjoy that ride on John's 390 Adventure R, but at that point in time, John had put 64 miles on the bike, and neither one of us knew how that bike was going to handle a real trip. Fortunately, the next day I had planned to lead a group ride to the Badlands National Park, which is well over 100 miles away, and it is also through the plains of South Dakota, which is a wide open area with high winds. Now, fortunately, despite only having 64 miles on it and not being able to exceed 6,500 RPMs, John was able to take that bike on this long ride to the Badlands National Park, and it ended up being about 325 miles for the day. Now, John was riding with 2 Harley Davidsons, a Goldwing, a Spider, and 2 Triumph Bonnevilles. All of these having about twice the horsepower of the KTM 390 Adventure R. Despite that, and despite going across the plains with relatively high winds, John had absolutely no issues with the 390 Adventure. Now, I had taken this exact trip more than once on my 390 Adventure, so I assumed John would be okay, but my bike has a lot more weight on it due to all the farkles and the bags, etc. John was riding out in those high winds with nothing added to the bike whatsoever. This is a 100% stock bike running the Mitas tires. And quite honestly, John rode for 8 hours this day through the Black Hills, across the plains, into the park, through the park, and back again. And he had nothing but a smile on his face. So if you're considering the 390 Adventure R and you're wondering, has it moved so much towards a dirt bike that you won't be able to ride it on the highway or at highway speeds or in relatively high winds? I wouldn't be concerned at all. The KTM 390 Adventure R performed admirably on the highway. And we all know from many other pieces of footage, it's going to do just fine off road. It really may be the unicorn of small adventure bikes. It's all right. If you stuck around, I appreciate it and take care.